नमस्कार मित्रहो, या आधीच्या व्हिडिओ लेक्चरमध्ये आपण बेसिक कन्सेप्ट्स इन इकॉनॉमिक्स या टॉपिकच्या इंट्रोडक्टरी पार्ट, मीनिंग अँड डेफिनेशन ऑफ इकॉनॉमिक्स हा पार्ट पाहिला आहे. सो फ्रॉम धिस व्हिडिओ लेक्चर वी स्टार्ट द नेक्स्ट content of the topic, that is branches of economics. Basically, the economics is divided into two branches, microeconomics and macroeconomics. First we see only what is meant by microeconomics, then we see what is meant by macroeconomics, and then we make a comparative study of microeconomics and macroeconomics for our better understanding. Microeconomics, the term micro is derived or originated from Greek word micros. The term micro is derived or originated from Greek word micros, which means small or millionth part, which means small. When we all of you know up to 10th standard, one of the instrument which is used in science for the purpose of experiment in up to 10th standard, that is microscope. In microscope we study the small parts, very small parts of that particular thing. So in microeconomics we analyze, we study, or we deals with small part of the national economy. We deals with small part of the national economy. For example, when we study Khed Tehsil compared to Ratnagiri district, then here the study of Khed Tehsil is micro study. When we study Ratnagiri district compared to Maharashtra state, then study of Ratnagiri district here is a microscopic study or microeconomics, micro study. When we study Ratnagiri district compared to whole nation, then study of Ratnagiri district is microscopic study. So in microeconomics we study small part of national economy. In microeconomics we study, the study of microeconomics is individualistic in nature. For example, all of you are student appear for 11th commerce. If we study the behavior of student of 11th commerce, if we make a particular characteristics of 11th commerce, 11th कॉमर्स हा क्लास कसा आहे हे जर आपण एका शब्दामध्ये सांगायचं झालं तर 11th कॉमर्सचे सर्व विद्यार्थी उत्तम किंवा चांगले आहेत. पण त्यापैकी एखादा पर्टिक्युलर स्टुडंट असेल रमेश नावाचा, तर तो रमेशचा जो स्टडी आपण त्या ठिकाणी करणार आहोत, तर तो स्टडी कसा आहे, मायक्रोस्कोपिक स्टडी आहे. 11th कॉमर्सच्या संपूर्ण सर्व स्टुडंट्समधील फक्त रमेश या स्टुडंटचा अभ्यास, फक्त रमेश या एका स्टुडंटचा अभ्यास हा मायक्रोस्कोपिक स्टडी आहे. आणि संपूर्ण क्लासचा अभ्यास हा मॅक्रोस्कोपिक स्टडी आहे. संपूर्ण क्लासचा अभ्यास हा मॅक्रोस्कोपिक स्टडी आहे. सो दिस इज microeconomics. Those microeconomic study is individualistic in nature. In microeconomics we study individual parts. For example, if we study particular sugar factory, then it is a microscopic study as compared to study of sugar industry, whole sugar industry. Then it is a study of microscopic study, then it is a microscopic study. Micro means small part, study of small parts of the economy. Okay, if our entire economy is, we make a various slices, we make a various slices or small parts of the economy, and each part is studied separately, each part is studied separately. So it is a microscopic approach, or microeconomics is also known as a slicing approach. Microeconomics is also known as a slicing approach. Okay, we split the economy, we make different parts of the economy. Okay, we split the economy in different small parts, and each part is studied separately, known as a microscopic study, or known as a study of microeconomics. Next, macroeconomics. The term macro derived from Greek word macros. Here the difference between micro and macro. The term micro is derived from Greek word micros, M-I-K-R-O-S, and the term macro is derived from Greek word macros. Only the difference between I and A, micros and macros. Macro means large. It study entire economy as a whole. When we study in microeconomics, we study Khed Tehsil compared to Ratnagiri district, then it is a microscopic study. But when we study entire Ratnagiri district as a whole, then it is a macroscopic study. Next, when we study whole 11th commerce class, and find out some conclusion about the class, all the students of the class are good, intelligent and hardworking, then it is the analysis of 11th commerce class as a macroscopic analysis, But when we study a particular student of the 11th commerce class, then it is a microscopic study, as I already told you. So this is the basic difference between macro and micro. Microeconomics analysis is individualistic in nature. Macroeconomics analysis is aggregative in nature. When we make aggregate, when we make total, when we make summation of all small things, we get a macro analysis, we get a macroeconomics. What happen in microeconomics? We split the economy into small, very small parts, and each part is we studied separately. But in macroeconomics, we make the integration, aggregation, totaling, summation of all the parts, and make a conclusion. So it is known as a macroeconomics, or aggregation, total of all micro parts, total of all individual parts. So it is known as a macro analysis. Microeconomics, it studies individual economic unit. For example, particular factory, particular industry, particular human being, consumer behavior. But in macroeconomics, it studies economy as a whole. As already I told you, microeconomics using slicing method, and macroeconomics using lumping method. ज्या वेळेला आपण इकॉनॉमीचे वेगवेगळे छोटे छोटे पार्ट्स करतो आणि प्रत्येक पार्ट सेपरेटली स्टडी करतो, त्यावेळेला तो मायक्रोस्कोपिक अप्रोच आहे. आणि ज्यावेळेला ते सगळे पार्ट्स एकत्र करून त्याचं एक कन्क्लुजन काढतो किंवा त्याचा एकत्रित स्टडी करतो किंवा ॲज अ मॅक्रो लेवलला मोठा मॅक्रो अप्रोच ठेवून ज्यावेळेला त्याचा अभ्यास करतो त्यावेळेला ते लंपिंग मेथड आहे, तो मॅक्रोस्कोपिक स्टडी आहे. फॉर एक्झाम्पल, टू मेक यू द concept of micro and macro more clarify the concept of macro and micro. When we study particular cells in a body, it is a micro analysis, and when we study entire human body, it is known as a macroeconomics or macro analysis. So like a human body, when we study a particular part of the economy, it is known as a microeconomics, and when we study entire nation, entire economy, whole economy or aggregate of all small things, it is known as a macroeconomics. So basically in 1933, one person known as a Ragnar Frisch coined or developed these two concepts, okay, of Oslo University in 1933. Microeconomics, micro means small. Microeconomics deals with the behavior of individual variable such as particular household, how a particular household behave, particular worker, particular firm, particular industry, how behave. Okay, so all this study, particular industry, particular household, particular worker, particular firm, हे जे पर्टिक्युलर आहेत, हे पर्टिक्युलर म्हणजे काय? पर्टिक्युलर म्हणजे नक्की ते तेवढीच फर्म. पर्टिक्युलर इंडस्ट्री म्हणजे ती तेवढीच इंडस्ट्री. कंपेअर टू होल इंडस्ट्री ऑफ नेशन, वी ओनली स्टडी शुगर इंडस्ट्री. ज्यावेळेला आपण साखर उद्योगाचा अभ्यास करतोय, कंपेअर टू होल इंडस्ट्रियल एरिया ऑफ country, then we study then this study is known as a microscopic study. Next, macroeconomics. Macro means large or aggregate or total. Macroeconomics is therefore the study of aggregate covering the entire economy, such as total employment, national income. When we study the income of any personal human being or personal income, then it is a concept of microeconomics. But when we study a whole national income, then it is a macroscopic study. When we study output of any particular firm, then it is a microscopic study. But when we make summation, aggregation or total of all the outputs of various firms, then and calculate a national output, then it is a macroscopic study. Total investment, savings. When we study a consumption of particular firm or particular household or particular human being, then it is a study of microscopic study. But when we study whole consumption, total consumption, then it is known as a macroscopic study. Next, aggregate supply, aggregate demand, and general price level. So all these things, what is meant by demand? Demand means desire, ichha, plus willingness to pay for the commodity and ability to pay for the commodity, known as a demand. When we study individual demand, then it is a microscopic study. And when we study demand aggregate demand of all individuals as a whole, as a total demand of nation, then it is known as a macroscopic study. Then it is known as a macroscopic study. Next, basic concepts of microeconomics. First concept, want. So basically, what is meant by want? In common language, want can be known as a need, garaj. But in economics, want denotes as a lack of satisfaction. But in economics, want denotes a feeling. एक feeling आहे. ही कशाची feeling आहे ती? The feeling regarding lack of satisfaction. The feeling regarding lack of satisfaction. This feeling of lack of satisfaction, की आपल्याला satisfaction कमी मिळत आहे किंवा ते satisfaction मिळायला पाहिजे. So this feeling is known as a want. If you have a demand for a particular thing and the thing is also available in somewhere in market, then there is no need. Means you have to demand and you have to get all the things, then it is not want. But you are lacking somewhere, regarding your satisfaction. You are not satisfied. So this particular thing is your want in economics. एखाद्या गोष्टीची तुम्हाला गरज आहे, पण ती तुम्हाला मिळत पण आणि त्या जर तुमच्या संपूर्ण गरजा वेळेवर पूर्ण होत गेल्या तर तुमच्याकडे सॅटिस्फॅक्शन, तर तुम्ही परफेक्टली सॅटिस्फाय असाल. पण एखाद्या गोष्टीची तुम्हाला गरज आहे ती तुम्हाला मिळत नाही, तुम्ही लॅकिंग इन सॅटिस्फॅक्शन, त्यामुळे तुमचं समाधान होत नाही, परफेक्ट सॅटिस्फॅक्शन होत नाही. तर त्यावेळेला तुमचे काय, यू आर लॅकिंग इन सॅटिस्फॅक्शन. सो हिअर these things leads individual to satisfy their wants. Wants arises because of two basic reasons: desire for better living due to invention and innovation, and rise in population. Each and every person of the society wants to increase his or her standard of living. So the standard of living increases due to invention and innovation, and they want a better living due to invention and innovation. In last lecture we discussed what we mean by invention and innovation. Okay, invention, that is creating something new, bringing in existing something new, and rise in population. Next, features of wants. Wants are unlimited. As we discussed one definition of Lionel Robinson in last lecture, we have a scarce or limited resources, but our wants are unlimited, and resources have alternative uses. So wants are unlimited. Wants arises again and again. They are unending. If you satisfy your particular want, if in your house you don't have a washing machine, if you buy a washing machine, then in summer season you require cooler also, AC also. So your wants are unending. If you satisfy one want, the another want arises, and then these wants are multiplied in nature. ह्या वाढत जाणाऱ्या गरजा ह्या वाढत जाणार आहेत किंवा वॉन्ट्स ह्या वाढत जाणार आहेत, त्या कधी कमी होत नाहीत. नेक्स्ट, वॉन्ट्स आर रिकरिंग इन नेचर. wants are occasional, some are occur again and again. काही गरजा आहेत फॉर एक्झाम्पल ज्या बेसिक नीड्स आहेत तर त्या प्रत्येक वेळा लागत असतात, त्या कधीही कमी होत नाहीत, ऑक्युअर अगेन अँड अगेन. नेक्स्ट, वॉन्ट्स डिफर विथ एज. द वॉन्ट्स फॉर चिल्ड्रन्स, द वॉन्ट्स फॉर यंगस्टर्स, द वॉन्ट्स फॉर एल्डर पर्सन्स as per their ages, the wants are different. The children wants more equipments related for playing something, playing games. The youngsters and salary earner person and businessman wants a stability with perfect satisfaction to satisfy and have the buying capacity to satisfy each and everything, to satisfy their household needs. An elder person wants some relaxation from their job. So the wants are different, wants are differ from age to age. लहान मुलांच्या गरजा, लहान मुलांच्या वॉन्ट्स, जे काम करणारे लोक आहेत त्यांच्या वॉन्ट्स, जे वयस्कर लोक आहेत त्यांच्या वॉन्ट्स, यामध्ये फरक आहे. जे लहान मुलं आहेत त्यांना खेळण्यासाठी इक्विपमेंट जास्त लागतील, जे काम करणारे लोक आहेत त्यांना जॉब लागेल, त्या फॅमिलीसाठी लागणाऱ्या सर्व गरजा कशा फुलफिल करता येतील यासाठी एक चांगली जॉब ऑपॉर्च्युनिटी लागेल, तर ह्या त्यांच्या वॉन्ट्स आहेत. तर ह्या त्यांच्या वॉन्ट्स आहेत. जे एल्डर पर्सन आहेत तर त्यांच्या हॉस्पिटलायझेशन असेल, टुरिझम असेल, त्यानंतर रिलॅक्सेशन असेल आत्तापर्यंत केलेल्या कामातून, ह्या त्यांच्या वॉन्ट्स आहेत. ह्या प्रत्येकाच्या वॉन्ट्स वेगवेगळ्या आहेत, डिफर फ्रॉम एज टू एज. वॉन्ट्स डिफर विथ जेंडर. देर आर द वॉन्ट्स ऑफ मेल, द वॉन्ट्स ऑफ फीमेल इज टोटली डिफरंट. Yes, there are some similarities, but as per gender the wants are different. As you know, wants differ due to preferences. Each and every human being is different from one another, so their preferences, their taste, their habit, their needs are also different. So according to their preferences, according to their needs, according to their taste, habits, their preferences are also different. So wants differ due to preferences. Wants differ with seasons. We cannot use umbrella in summer season because the perfect season to use umbrella is rainy season according to the use of umbrella. So as for season, in summer season, winter season, rainy season, the wants are different. We cannot use woolen cloth in summer season. Okay, so as per seasons, wants are also different. Next, wants differ due to culture. Wants differ due to culture. One of the feature of India, that is unity in diversity. In India there are various types of caste, creed, religions, their culture of wearing cloth, eating culture, their religious culture is different. So as per their culture, as the culture is changed as per climate also, so their wants are also different as per their culture. The wants of Punjabi peoples, the wants of Maharashtrian peoples, the wants of Tamilian peoples, the wants of Gujaratian peoples, the wants of Northeast peoples are different as per their culture. The wants of Gorkha people is also different as per their culture. So we live unity in diversity is one of the feature, but there are different types of culture in India, so as per their culture wants are also different. Each and every human being have their own culture. As per the classes in the society, the culture is also different, so as per these cultures their wants are also different. Next, classification of wants. Economic wants and non-economic wants. Economic wants means those wants for which we require to pay a price or we charge, or for which we require to pay money or we require to pay something in terms of money, known as the economic wants. For example, food, medicine, we require to pay money for that. Next, non-economic want means these wants are not related to the money, or for to satisfy these wants we does not require to pay any type of single rupee to any person. For example, air, oxygen, sunshine, the wind, we does not require to pay anything for these to satisfy the wants of air, sunshine. We does not require to pay anything or any amount. Next, individual want and collective want. Individual means wants which are satisfied at a personal level, known as individual. For example, advocate wearing a coat. जो ब्लॅक कोट असतो, जो कंपल्सरी ॲडव्होकेट लोकांनी किंवा जज लोकांनी विअर करायचा असतो, तर ती त्याची इंडिव्हिज्युअल वॉन्ट आहे किंवा पर्सनल लेवलची वॉन्ट आहे. ओके, इंडिव्हिज्युअल किंवा पर्सनल लेवलची वॉन्ट आहे, गरज आहे, नीड आहे. कलेक्टिव्ह वॉन्ट्स, group of people satisfy collectively their wants. For example, public utility services, trains, ST buses, BST buses, aeroplanes. So these wants, schools, collective wants in schools. ओके, ट्रेनची जी सुविधा आहे, पब्लिक युटिलिटी सर्व्हिसेस, ट्रेन असेल, ST बसेस असतील, BST बसेस असतील, एरोप्लेन्स असतील, म्हणजे ट्रान्सपोर्टच्या ज्या सुविधा आहेत. ओके, त्यानंतर कम्युनिटी हॉल्स असतील. तर हे काय, दीज थिंग्स प्रोव्हाइड अ कलेक्टिव्ह वॉन्ट्स. दीज थिंग्स प्रोव्हाइड अ कलेक्टिव्ह वॉन्ट्स ऑफ अ ग्रुप ऑफ पीपल और collection or collective a group. These things provide a collective wants of a group of people. So these are a collective wants. Next, basic needs. Basic needs, we have some basic needs. For example, food, clothing, shelter, education and health. Food, clothing, shelter, education and health. So to satisfy these wants are categorized as a basic needs, without which we cannot survive. Next, comforts. Due to use of these type of goods or some type of goods, our life was more comfortable. आपलं आयुष्य फार आरामदायी होऊन जातं. हाताने कपडे धुणे आणि वॉशिंग मशीनमध्ये कपडे धुणे यामधला जो डिफरन्स आहे, जास्त कम्फर्ट कशामध्ये आहे, तर वॉशिंग मशीनमध्ये कपडे धुतले तर त्यामध्ये जास्त comfort आहे. So use of washing machine, mixer, luxurious goods, wants which give pleasure and enjoyment, for example AC car. So this is a luxury. Through these wants we get a luxurious, that is pleasure and enjoyment. We have a feeling of pleasure and enjoyment due to, so those things which provide us a pleasure and enjoyment, or which satisfy our want of pleasure and enjoyment, comes in the category of luxurious goods, that is AC car. Next concept of microeconomics, that is goods and services. Anything that satisfies human want and having material existence, means physically these goods are available, are termed as good or goods. Not good, but it is a goods. Anything that satisfies human want and having material existence, termed as goods. For example, chalk used by teacher, having material existence and satisfy the want of teacher and student. Next, services. Services also satisfy human wants but does not have material existence. For example, teaching offered by teacher, investment advisor, financial consultant, advocate giving his advice. These are services because these goods does not have any material existence. जे सल्ला देणारे लोक आहेत, ॲडवायझर लोक आहेत, इन्व्हेस्टमेंट ॲडवायझर असतील, फायनान्शियल कन्सल्टंट असतील किंवा ॲडव्होकेट असतील, तर हे काय करतात, तर ह्यांचं काम काय की हे सल्ला देतात, ॲडवाईस देतात. ते ॲडवाईस काय सर्व्हिसेस आहे. तर त्याच्यामध्ये कोणतंही मटेरियल गुड्स नाही की ज्याला फिजिकल एक्झिस्टन्स आहे, त्यामुळे काय सर्व्हिसेस. पण आपल्या त्यांच्याकडून सल्ला मिळतो जेव्हा आपले जे काही वॉन्ट्स आहेत ॲज अ सर्व्हिसेसच्या, तर त्या सॅटिस्फाय होतात. त्यामुळे दीज आर अनदर concept of microeconomics, that is goods and services. Okay, goods, anything that satisfies human want and having material existence, termed as goods, that is for example chalk. Services also satisfy human wants but does not have material existence. For example, teaching offered by teacher, advice given by investment advisor, financial consultant, advocate. Next concept, utility. A want satisfying capacity of commodity known as utility. Want satisfying capacity of a commodity known as a utility. Want satisfying capacity of a commodity known as a utility. There are two basic concepts related with the utility, that is total utility and marginal utility. Total utility means the utility derived from consuming all units of commodity known as a total utility, and marginal utility, that is utility derived by consuming one more additional unit of commodity known as a marginal utility. Next concept, value, a very important concept and concept of microeconomics. Value have two approaches: value in use and value in exchange. First we see value in use. It is a worth of commodity or usefulness of a commodity. No one has to pay for sunshine, but worth can never be doubted. Means सनशाईनसाठी आपल्याला कशाही पद्धतीचे पैसे पे करावे लागत नाहीत, पण त्याची जी वर्थ आहे, त्याची जी किंमत आहे किंवा त्याचा जे काही उपयोग, आपल्या युजफुलनेस जो आपल्या आयुष्यामध्ये आपल्याला होणार आहे तो कोणत्याही प्रकारे आपण नाकारू शकत नाही, निग्लेक्ट करू शकत नाही. दॅट इज व्हॅल्यू इन यूज. व्हॅल्यू इन यूज. Second example, water. Water is also a very high value in use. Next concept, value in exchange. It refers to worth of commodity or services expressed in terms of another commodity. For example, diamond. Values expressed in terms of money. It is called as a price of commodity. These goods are known as economic goods. To make both the concepts, that is value in use and value in exchange, we have a third concept, that is water diamond paradox. Some goods or some commodities, here the word commodities is required, here the word commodities is required. Some commodities in the place of value, here the word commodity is required. Some commodities have high value in use but low value in exchange. As we discussed earlier, the meaning of value in use means usefulness of commodity, and value in exchange means it refers to worth of commodity or services expressed in terms of another commodity. Water have value in high value in use, and diamond have high value in exchange because of its scarcity. Because of its scarcity. Scarcity म्हणजे दुर्मिळता. लक्ष द्या, जे पाणी आहे, जिथं पाण्याची बॉटल दाखवलेली आहे फिगरमध्ये, आकृतीमध्ये पाणी आहे. पाणी जर आपण यूज केलं तर त्याचा युजफुलनेस आपल्याला जास्त आहे किंवा त्याच्यातून मिळणारं सॅटिस्फॅक्शन जे आहे जास्त आहे. पण डायमंडच्या बाबतीत समजा हा आपल्याकडे असणारा डायमंड जर आपण सेल केला किंवा विकला आणि त्याच्यामार्फत जर त्याच्या इन टर्म्स ऑफ मनी त्याचं जर व्हॅल्युएशन केलं तर त्याची जी एक्सचेंज व्हॅल्यू आहे ती जास्त आहे. तेच जर वॉटर एक्सचेंज केलं, एका व्यक्तीने एक ग्लास वॉटर दुसऱ्या व्यक्तीला दिली तर त्याची व्हॅल्यू इन एक्सचेंज काय असणार आहे? फार कमी असणार आहे किंवा जवळजवळ नगण्य अशी आहे. पण तेच जर वॉटर ज्या व्यक्तीला आपण देतोय त्यानं ते ड्रिंक केल्यानंतर, त्यानं ते वॉटर पिल्यानंतर त्याला जे सॅटिस्फॅक्शन मिळणार आहे किंवा जे युजफुलनेस मिनरल आहे तो सगळ्यात जास्त आहे, म्हणजे त्याची व्हॅल्यू इन यूज जास्त आहे. तो वॉटर यूज केल्यामुळे जे मिळणारं सॅटिस्फॅक्शन आहे ते सगळ्यात जास्त आहे. पण डायमंडच्या बाबतीमध्ये आपण काय व्हॅल्यू इन एक्सचेंजची व्याख्या सांगतोय की इट रेफर्स टू वर्थ ऑफ कमोडिटी ऑर सर्व्हिसेस एक्सप्रेस्ड इन टर्म्स ऑफ अनदर कमोडिटी. समजा हे इथं डायमंड दाखवलेला आहे, तर त्याची मनी व्हॅल्यू जी आहे सगळ्यात जास्त आहे. व्हॅल्यू इन एक्सचेंज, मनीमध्ये जर त्याचं एक्सचेंजिंग केलं किंवा दुसऱ्या कमोडिटीवर त्याचं एक्सचेंज केलं तर त्याची व्हॅल्यू इन एक्सचेंज जास्त आहे बिकॉज ऑफ इट्स स्केअरसिटी. वॉटर हे फार मोठ्या प्रमाणामध्ये अवेलेबल आहे. मग समजा असं झालं उद्या की वॉटर जे ड्रिंकिंग वॉटर आहे ते जर कमी प्रमाणामध्ये अवेलेबल असेल तर कदाचित असं होऊ शकतं की याची व्हॅल्यू इन एक्सचेंज जास्त होऊ शकते, पण तसं आता तरी नाही आहे. त्यामुळे वॉटर डायमंड पॅराडॉक्स ऑफ व्हॅल्यू काय सांगतो? वॉटर डायमंड पॅराडॉक्स ऑफ व्हॅल्यू, वॉटरची व्हॅल्यू इन यूज जास्त आहे किंवा व्हॅल्यू इन यूज इज हाय. एखाद्या व्यक्तीला आपण पाणी दिलं तर त्याच्यातून त्याला जो मिळणारा युजफुलनेस आहे तो सगळ्यात जास्त आहे. पण ते जर आपल्याला असणारा डायमंड किंवा आपण डायमंड बाय केला किंवा आपण डायमंड सेल केला आणि त्याच्यामध्ये जर मनी आपल्याला जास्तीत जास्त मिळाले तर त्याची व्हॅल्यू इन एक्सचेंज इन टर्म्स ऑफ अदर कमोडिटी, इन टर्म्स ऑफ अनदर कमोडिटी त्याची व्हॅल्यू इन एक्सचेंज ही जास्त आहे. त्याची व्हॅल्यू इन एक्सचेंज जास्त आहे बिकॉज डायमंड इज अ स्केअर कमोडिटी और डायमंड्स हॅव स्केअरसिटी. दुर्मिळ आहे डायमंड. येते लक्षात? ठीक आहे. नेक्स्ट कन्सेप्ट दॅट इज वेल्थ. Wealth refers to anything which has market value and can be exchanged for money. To be regarded as a wealth, a commodity must possess the following characteristics: utility, scarcity, transferability, and externality. Wealth means, one of the definition of Adam Smith, economics as a science of wealth. And what is meant by wealth? So wealth refers to anything which has market value and can be exchanged for money. एखादी गोष्ट की ज्याला मार्केट व्हॅल्यू आहे, की ज्याची व्हॅल्यू मार्केटमध्ये डिमांड सप्लाय फोर्सेसवरती ठरत असते आणि ज्याला इन टर्म्स ऑफ एक्सचेंज ऑफ मनी व्हॅल्यू आहे, नोन ॲज अ वेल्थ. सो to be regarded as a wealth, a commodity must possess following four characteristics. As discussed earlier, one of the concept utility. Wealth must have a utility, or the concept who possess the or treated or regarded, or we treat the particular commodity as a wealth. The wealth must have this particular commodity must have a utility. A commodity must have the capacity to satisfy human wants. Scarcity, लक्ष द्या, आपण एक स्केअरसिटी ओरिएंटेड डेफिनेशन पाहिलेलं आहे लिओनल रॉबिन्सनची. जर एखादी गोष्ट स्केअर असेल तरच तुम्ही त्याच्यासाठी पैसे पे करणार आहात आणि किंवा मनी पे करणार आहात. आणि आपण वेल्थची डेफिनेशन काय पाहिलेली आहे? the anything that has a market value and can be exchanged for money. मनीसाठी तुम्ही एक्सचेंज करणार आहात. लक्षात? फॉर एक्झाम्पल डायमंड. तर डायमंड वस्तू कशी आहे? स्केअर आहे. तर त्याच्यासाठी जर तुम्हाला डायमंड हवा असेल तर तुम्ही त्यासाठी काय करणार आहे? पैसे पे करणार. किंवा कोणतीही गोष्ट की ज्याला आपण इकॉनॉमिक गुड्स असं म्हणू, ज्याला आपण इकॉनॉमिक गुड्स असं म्हणू, विच इज प्राइस इज टू बी पेड, की ज्यासाठी तुम्हाला प्राइस पे करावी लागणार आहे, की ज्यासाठी तुम्हाला प्राइस पे करावी लागणार आहे. युटिलिटी, स्केअरसिटी. ओके, स्केअरसिटी. कमोडिटी मस्ट बी स्केअर इन सप्लाय इन रिलेशन टू इट्स डिमांड if it is to be included in term of wealth. For example, all economic goods for which price is to be paid. सर्व इकॉनॉमिक गुड्स की ज्याच्यासाठी प्राइस पे करावी लागते किंवा इकॉनॉमिक गुड्स म्हणजेच की ज्याच्यासाठी प्राइस पे करावी लागते असे सर्व गुड्स हे स्केअर आहेत. बिकॉज वाय? बिकॉज वी रिक्वायर टू पे प्राइस फॉर दॅट पर्टिक्युलर कमोडिटी. दॅट्स वाय. अँड वाय वी पे प्राइस? बिकॉज द सप्लाय ऑफ दिस गुड्स इज नॉट अबंडंट. पुष्कळ असा सप्लाय नाही आहे, पुरेसा सप्लाय नाही आहे, कमी सप्लाय इन रिलेशन टू डिमांड. That's why we require to pay price for the commodity. That's why it is, if any commodity possesses the characteristics that is scarcity, then it is treated as a wealth. Next concept, transferability. Sorry, I cannot show you here the proper exact explanation in words, but I can explanation in writing, but I can explain here the concept transferability. Transferability. If goods is tangible in nature or commodity is tangible in nature, then the goods must be transferred from one person to another person, from one place to another place. Then if these goods having the ability to transfer it from one person to another person, from one place to another place, then it is treated as a wealth. Externality. A goods can be transferred only if it is external to human being. For example, bag, chair, it is external. Means within internal असेल, within ह्युमन बॉडी असेल तर ते कधीही ट्रान्सफर करता येणार नाही, किंवा एक्सटर्नल असणार. म्हणजे एक्सटर्नल टू ह्युमन बॉडी सोडून एक्सटर्नल टू ह्युमन बॉडी. इफ गुड्स आर external to human body, if goods are external to human body, okay, so goods must be external to human body, for then and then only we can transfer it. Next concept, personal income. Earning received by a person from all sources is called as his personal income. As we discussed, personal income is a part and partial of the study of microeconomics, and national income is the part of the study of macroeconomics, as we discussed early in previous part when we discussed the concept micro and macro. ओके, एखाद्या व्यक्तीला सर्व सोर्सेसपासून मिळालेलं जे इन्कम आहे तर ते त्याचं पर्सनल इन्कम आहे, इन द फॉर्म ऑफ सॅलरी, वेजेस, रेंट. मीन्स एखाद्या व्यक्तीला जर सॅलरी मिळत असेल, जर कन्सल्टन्सी फी मिळत असेल तर ते त्याचे काय, तर ते त्याचे ऑनरेरियम मिळत असेल तर ते त्याचे सगळे सोर्सेसपासून मिळालेलं काय इन्कम आहे, त्या वैयक्तिक व्यक्तीला मिळालेलं इन्कम आहे ते पर्सनल इन्कम आहे. नेक्स्ट, पर्सनल डिस्पोजेबल इन्कम, PDI. It is that part of personal income which is left over after the payment of direct taxes such as income tax and wealth. Personal income minus direct taxes. पर्सनल इन्कम मायनस म्हणजे जी वरची आपण जे याच्या आधीची जी कन्सेप्ट पाहिलेली आहे पर्सनल इन्कमची, त्यामधून जर डायरेक्ट टॅक्सेस मायनस केले तर जे शिल्लक राहतं ते आहे पर्सनल डिस्पोजेबल इन्कम, ऑर द इन्कम विच इज इन द हँड्स ऑफ दॅट पर्टिक्युलर पर्सन टू डिस्पोज ऑर टू यूज to satisfy his or her wants, or for the purpose of consumption, that is personal disposable income. Next and last concept of microeconomics, economic activities can be classified into 4 types, which includes production, distribution, exchange and consumption. There are production, distribution, exchange and consumption. Production is a creation of utility. Production is a creation of utility, and utility means the capacity of commodity to satisfy human wants. So through production we create a utility. So there are four factors of production: land, labor, capital, and entrepreneur. Next, distribution. Distribution of land is a, before that we only just in 2 to 3 sentences I explain here the factors of production, which is related to the production activity. Land. Land is a natural factor of production. It is a free gift of nature to us. And it is one of the factor of production, that is land. Next, labor. Labor is human factor of production. Next, capital. Capital means the amount invested by business owner in the business, that is capital. And entrepreneur means the person who run enterprise, known as entrepreneur, the person who have the ability to judge future business opportunities, to take risk, and to do something different from ordinary businessman, that is entrepreneur. That is entrepreneur who have a foresight attitude. Entrepreneur. Next, distribution. Distribution of income. Distribution of income which is earned. Distribution of income which is earned distribution of income earned from all factor of production which is distributed among the society, known as a distribution. There are four factor of production, and each factor of production regarded some reward. For example, land having rent, labor having wages, capital having capital having profit, and entrepreneur having profit. Entrepreneur having profit. So that is production means creation of utility. Distribution, that is distribution of factors of production in society, because each factor of production have some reward. For example, land, rent, labor, wages, capital, interest, entrepreneur, profit. Next concept, that is exchange. Next concept, that is exchange. Exchange refers to sale and purchase of goods and services in the market. Exchange of goods. Next, consumption. It is actual use of goods and services to satisfy human wants, that is consumption or consuming goods. So these all are the concepts of मायक्रो इकॉनॉमिक्स.